Oh, who goeth there, Johnson? Who goeth there? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. Gotta get my notes out. Okay, let's do this, Johnson. Let's do it. Let's do it live. Do it live, Johnson. Do it live. Yes. Yes, we're here. We're here, Johnson, in the house. See, now that when I don't have phone calls, I can check the audio myself, Johnson. What is going on, Wolfpack? Give it up. Give it up. Wake up. Wake up. So we good. Oh, come on now. Yeah, we go. There we go. All right. Hello, my name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. We are bold and beautiful here. Bold, beautiful, and black. Woo! It's like magic, baby. It is like magic. Oh, man, what's up? Look at all my anti-racists out there joint, man. I'm loving it. That's right. Only people with implicit racial bias are here. We have to avoid the racialization. Man, the Tulsi Gabbard people are so mad. Who hate you, Tim Black? I hate you. I hate you. The whole rest of the country, well, not the rest of the country, a lot of us in the country are talking about race in different ways because we've noticed that George Floyd was killed and a lot of other shootings, and we're starting to, the data already showed it for like many decades. And at the peak of this that's going on, this mofo gonna put out a video. We need to just stop looking at race. You know, race is just a figment of our imagination. We could just get lost in my eyes. We could just be mesmerized by my beauty, my fair skin, and my big smile. It won't matter if you're women 3 times more likely to die giving childbirth. It won't matter if 1 out of 4 of your children live under the poverty line. It won't matter if you're 3 times more likely to be shot by cops during a cop encounter. This is all in your brain. None of it is real. The only real thing is your love for me. That shit is creepy. I don't know why y'all think it's so hot. It's always some moron going, hey man, she's so hot. So hot. So's a 3rd-degree burn, dumbass. So's a 3rd-degree burn. Hey, these are opinions. Isn't that what you said I had to take with Bernie? I had to take people's opinions? Is that what you said? You lighten up, Tim. Stop defending politicians. Till it's your person, then it's like, how dare you smear her? I'm Tim Black. This is the Tim Black Show. What we do on Thursdays is I go over news events that happened recently, typically just up to the moment or sometimes just the day before the day. Mondays and Fridays, we open up phone lines. Tuesdays and Fridays, we open up phone lines. I'm sorry. Mondays are a show similar to this one. If you prefer your independent media shaken, not stirred, if you like the realness, if you want to hear somebody talk about issues, get you up to date on what's happening in your world without being a subject, a slave, or a backpedaling bastard for the right or the left, or not the left, the right or the righter. But see, what we have, people don't realize this. What we have is establishment in Congress right now, well, in the White House right now, is right wing. Biden is on the right. Lately, he's talking the rhetoric of like a Bernie Sanders, but he's mostly like, he's what you would have thought a Republican was 30 years ago. Because the windows, the scale is moved. Trump was just crazy. But Biden, he's not. So anyway, if you like your news given to you a certain kind of way where you don't fall asleep, and you have this strange feeling that the person that you're talking to might actually believe in what they're saying, you've come to the right place, Johnson. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack right now. Do it. Starting at only $5 a month, you can get all the news coverage. All of it. And I'm trying to tell you, Johnson, we've just got to get it together, man. Go to jointimblack.com. I would like to welcome my people on Facebook and YouTube. You guys are amazing. Thank you for holding me down like you do. And shout out to my people on Twitter who have my back, like Claire. You are amazing. Thank you for doing what you do, Johnson. And Kenyon Bunny. Give it up for Kenyon Bunny and Claire. Two of them. I noticed it was two ladies that had my back. Two ladies. Where are the guys? You guys don't have my back? What's up? What up? I popped into a live stream. I saw some of my people on another live stream. It's like, what are you doing over there, man? Hey, man. It's like going to, you got regular customers that come to your pizza parlor, and then you stop by another pizza parlor, see what they're doing with their toppings, and you see some of your customers in there buying pizza, and you're like, guess I got to make better pizza. Maybe we'll just make a special serving of their pizza. Put some special stuff in it. I got a new topping in my pizza for these guys. You guys ready to get into some news? We're going to do shout-outs later because I've been told that's kind of annoying for people who haven't watched the show before. They're like, who are all these people that they're shouting out? But I will recognize at the top of my show the people that make the show possible. People that are actually in the Wolfpack, like Nate A. and Anthony Lamont and Vanita Vanabar and Eric Cervantes. These are Tim Black Wolfpack members. Without them, there would be no show. Sign of the Times doing the moderating. Thank you so much. Katrina Watson and Dallas Taylor and Mary Warren. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being members of the Wolfpack. Thank you for keeping the lights on, Anthony Lamont and Ben a Fool. Yeah. That's how we keep it going. Now, I'm doing something special on Facebook where it's protected. So only supporters of the show, people that actually follow. So I'm trying to eliminate the trolls on Facebook because it's troll city. Man, it be so many trolls. I mean, Jesus Christ, I didn't know there were that many trolls. It looks like World War Z. You know that scene where the zombie-type creatures are coming over the wall? It's like a wave. That's the trolls on Facebook. And they only come out when I make a comment about a Republican. They do not come out when I talk about defending black people. Yeah, it come out then too. Yeah. They come over the hill, dead eyes hell, just, America's a great country. Racism doesn't exist. This time those fuckers came over the hill because I said something about Tim Scott. Tim Scott's a great man. I'm like, headshot. Let me do you a favor, Johnson. Goodness gracious. So, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, we got some losers in the house. No, damn well they wouldn't like his black ass if he's talked anything like me. They'd be calling him all types of names. What can we go to here? Okay, I got 4 story topics I'd like to get to. Can we go to something? Let's go to something really quick, guys. Real quick, get this out the way. Give you an update on this shit here, man. You guys ready? I'll take scene number 4. I think it's number 4. It is number 4. Look at these strapping young men, Johnson. These are the 4 killers of Ahmaud Arbery. They're being charged with federal hate crimes. That's right. The McMichaels, Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan. You're looking at the superior race right there, Johnson. That's all slack-jawed and all. Paul, don't let their goofy, I'm just dumb as shit looks on their faces fool you. These are three killers. They lynched a man in broad daylight back in February 2020. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. They better kill your baby too if you black. What I love so much about this story is they saw a black man at an open construction site and assumed that he was stealing shit, though he had nothing in his hands and was not stealing anything. And the property owner says nothing's ever been taken from their property site. Ever. People just wander into it to look at the new development because they marvel at a new house being built. That's it. But you know how these certain people who Tim Scott say racism doesn't exist, so I don't know. But for some reason, this dark-skinned black man, was a threat to them that they all had to jump in their pickup trucks and chase him down and eventually kill him. It wasn't racism according to Tim Scott or the assholes on Facebook. No, that doesn't exist. It was because they're good neighbors. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are surveillance cameras set up on this construction site where racks, and I mean lots of white people did the same thing. They went into the property, they looked around. Notice the these three murderers, never chased those white people who walked on the property. Just this guy, Ahmaud Arbery, who was 25 years old, actually. Yeah. And since he was a jogger, an athlete, when they saw him jogging, they thought surely this Negro had to be doing something unlawful, Johnson, because Negroes only run away. They run away. They don't jog like regular people. No, like white people is regular people. So, federal hate crimes, because I guess they determined, no, let's not guess. Let's see what they say, okay? He was killed because of hate, says Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, set up the indictment. And it's been well over a year in the making. We look at this one as one step closer for justice for Ahmaud. You know, they shot him 3 times point blank range with shotguns because he wouldn't cooperate with them. These men who they're not cops, they're just people. Murderers. Racist murderers. According to Justice Department, Travis McMichael, the father, Gregory, a former cop, and William Roddy Bryan face 1 count each of interference with rights, as well as 1 count each of attempted kidnapping, because they tried to apprehend this man, the deceased Mr. Ahmaud Arbery. The McMichaels also face charges for using, carrying, and brandishing. In the Travis case, discharging a firearm during and in relation to a crime of violence. Although Gregory told police early on that Travis shot Arbery, claiming he resembled a burglar suspect neither of them had actually seen, it took local prosecutors months to charge any of the men involved. Once again, this was not race. This was because, well, I don't know, some stuff. Fairy dust or something. Corruption. It could be corruption. You could chalk it up to corruption. Yeah, without the footage, Johnson, these guys just get away. But you realize that without footage, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to make all the difference because we've seen cases where it didn't make a difference. But it helps sometimes. Because they were like, this guy was struggling, was fighting, attacked them, and they had to defend themselves. When they chased him for minutes, he on foot, them on truck. He rerouted, ran another way, tried to run away again. They followed him, cornered him. He run another way, they tried to block him. He tried to escape them. Not good enough, Johnson. Not good enough. Only pressure is the only thing that made them even charge these guys. Yeah, initially the McMichaels argued that Arbery attacked them. Yet the footage of the young man's final moments told a different story. In addition to federal charges, Brown and McMichaels faced state charges of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and a criminal attempt to commit a felony. So there's a whole bunch of laws they broke. It's like there's a whole basket. This is a basket full of laws that they broke. It's poured over their heads. It's clanging on the side and make sure all the charges fall out onto their dumb, racist heads. I'll be updating you to this story as I do all stories similar to this because I actually care about them. Me, myself. I don't need to bring somebody else on the show to talk to you about them because I would do the research on the stories because that's what I'm sort of my job. Listen, a lot of people don't care about that. But luckily, I've developed an audience that does care about that. My condolences to the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Hopefully, some form of accountability can be meted out to these raging, racist assholes. Let's make it happen, Johnson. I mean, we can't make it happen. Let's hope it happens, Johnson. All right, so moving on. You guys ready for Joe Biden? Okay, so Joe Biden gave his first speech, joint Congress address. Okay, 100 days is coming up. People are giving him all types of grades. We'll talk about that. But this is the speech portion where we go over things that Joe Biden said to the world after sitting back for long periods of time and having speechwriters concoct him some speeches. Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden delivered his remarks to the world. And it was interesting. Very interesting. And, you know, I watched it and I was sort of surprised at some of the things. You know, this is like the opening of it. Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi doing the, it's amazing what the media picks up on. They kept showing this over and over today. Like, they did an elbow bump. Isn't that cute? That's amazing. They did the elbow bump. Nothing like a good elbow bump to get the platitudes and the soaring rhetoric a good boost, a good start. And then things went to this. Now, this is the most important moment of the night for some. It was a moment I knew was coming because I said earlier in the video, if you watched some videos last week, one of the videos I said, hey, I've noticed that no one's really been talking about Kamala Harris being the first female vice president and how that's a historic issue. And I know people are going to start, it's like almost not even a thing. Does that not blow you away? I'm not saying she's good at it. I'm not saying that. Okay, what I do is point out facts. Just because I point out a fact doesn't mean I think that I agree with it, that I agree with this person or thing, okay? So please, we hate Kamala. I understand. I reported on her almost every day for a year. I know. But I knew this was going to come because, the Democrats are really good at symbolism. Not so much substance, but symbolism. Republicans are good at phony patriotism. But here we go. Here goes the part that you probably heard of today if you could not avoid corporate media.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor to present to you the President of the United States.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to be back. Mitch and Chuck will understand it's good to be almost home. Down the hall. Anyway, thank you all. Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President. No president has ever said those words from this podium. No president has ever said those words. And it's about time.
Yeah, Johnson, yeah. Yep, it's about time, Johnson. It's about time. Yeah, it's about time that we had some decent leadership in the White House. Yeah, it's about time, Johnson. We haven't had that yet. Joe Biden looks like a guy who wants to validate his parking. It just wanders in. I want to do my best to be as transparent as possible about this. I am not a Biden fan. Okay? I'm not a Biden fan, but what I am trying to do is I'm trying to not be a child. And I'm also trying to look at his presidency through the eyes of the people that maybe we can get some things out of him. Duh. Like, we got to get some stuff out of him. We can't keep going. Let's just survive. We got to try to get stuff out of the guy because we have to live in America. Some of us are so frustrated, and I get it, I understand it, we're so frustrated. We're pissed off, we're tired of the lies, we're tired of the narratives, the false narratives, the spin. We're tired of the hollow victories, the shallow promises, the soaring rhetoric, and then the shallow promises, the valley. I mean, we're tired of the bullshit. Now I'm tired of it too. But we must get something, because you know what? For some people, it's going to be life or death. Okay? For some people, it's life or death if we get something out of our government. So we can't just be like, screw him. And I know there's people like that want to be that way. You're watching a political channel. On the political channel, we cover politics. Won't you watch sports? No, real talk, man. Because they hate politics, but they watch politics. In order to get something out of a politician, you have to do what? Play politics. If you're a politician. If you're not a politician, I'm not a politician. My job's to call it out. But also know that there are some people that got to get something out of Biden, man. Got to get something out of Biden that's going to help their lives. So I want to go into this with the right frame of mind. That's all I'm saying. Let's try to go into this with the right frame of mind and have an open mind about Joseph Biden, the segregationist, the author of the 3 Strikes, the war on drugs. What can I say, guys? It's a horrible thing, man. All right. Jesus, let's go to the next clip. Enough.
Other places in Africa, in the Middle East, and beyond. And we won't ignore what our intelligence agencies have determined to be the most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today. White supremacy is terrorism. We're not going to ignore that either. My fellow Americans, look, we have to come together to heal the soul of this nation. It was nearly a year ago before her father's funeral when I spoke with Gianna Floyd, George Floyd's young daughter. She's a little tyke, so I was kneeling down to talk to her so I could look her in the eye. She looked at me, she said, "My daddy changed the world." Well, after the conviction of George Floyd's murderer, we can see how right she was if we have the courage to act as a Congress. We've all seen the knee of injustice on the neck of Black Americans. Now's our opportunity to make some real progress. The vast majority of men and women wearing a uniform and a badge serve our communities, and they serve them honorably. I know them. I know they want... I know they want to help meet this moment as well. My fellow Americans, we have to come together to rebuild trust between law enforcement and the people they serve, to root out systemic racism in our criminal justice system, and to enact police reform in George Floyd's name that passed the House already. I know Republicans have their own ideas and are engaged in very productive discussions with Democrats in the Senate. We need to work together to find a consensus. But let's get it done next month.
Oh, Jesus. This guy, man. This guy. Anybody else out there tired of him going back and forth like a ping pong on each side of an issue? His triangulation, man, is so horrible, man. Hillary Clinton used to do that really well, too. Just say what the Republicans want you to say what the Democrats want you to say what the whites want you to say what the blacks want you to say all of it, and at the end of the day, you said nothing. Because it's all cancel each other out. You know, white supremacy is the most terrible thing, but you know, then again, we gotta all come together, because we know we can't all be against white supremacy. Might make white people feel bad. But then you know what we need to do? We need to get our boot off the black people's neck, because you know, racism is horrible and it's a systemic racism. Black people like when I say systemic racism. It validates their pain and struggle. But then again, what we need to do is love cops, because cops are great. Even though I just mentioned a story about a cop, four cops who killed a black man, killed him in the middle of the street. But you know, we all need to just love each other, and that's what we should do, and that's how we should move going forward. Yeah. It's just a bunch of stuff. Just mash it in. And then you gotta add in a story that you didn't even need to put in. And with details that distract us. I don't have faith in Joe Biden, Johnson. How could I? This guy locked up more black people than slavery. How am I believing this guy? And I say all that, and I say if we can get something out of him, we got to try to get something out of him that actually helps people. Because he's going to be there 4 years. And some people can't wait for another 4 years just to end up with someone else just as bad as him probably. So, get what I'm saying? Okay. Whoo, next clip. There's more, Johnson.
With my friends in the Democratic Party. I think you should be able to become a billionaire and a millionaire, but pay your fair share. A recent study shows that 55 of the nation's biggest corporations paid zero federal tax last year. Those 55 corporations made in excess of $40 billion in profit. A lot of companies also evade taxes through tax havens in Switzerland and Bermuda and the Cayman Islands. And they benefit from tax loopholes and deductions for offshoring jobs and shifting profits overseas. It's not right. We're going to reform corporate taxes, so they pay their fair share and help pay for the public investments their businesses will benefit from as well.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, now you're talking, man. I love what Bernie Sanders just said there. Way to go, Bernie. Give it up for Bernie Sanders there. It's like Bernie Sanders inhabited his body. It's like, you know, that's what that was. That wasn't Joe Biden talking. That was Bernie talking. He's talking about making the rich taxing the 1%. They got to talk to 1%. Got to get the 1%. That's Bernie all day. 0 federal taxes in 55 of the top corporations. $40 billion worth of profits. 0 federal taxes. Change the corporate tax code. That's how he's going to pay for a lot of the programs, right? Convert that into programs. Not bombs, right? So, yeah, the tax code needs to be changed. And we're talking about the richest of the richest of the richest. We're not talking about little small businesses. That's how Republicans love to frame it. So it's funny. The Republicans that follow me because they saw me make a video that was critical of, I don't know, Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or something. They somehow Facebook keeps sending them my alerts instead of sending them to my, my people that have a freaking brain. You understand? Republicans suck too. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's not patriotic to tax big corporations. It's patriotic for big corporations to stash their money in overseas or foreign banks. That's patriotism. And to tax them is unpatriotic. Yeah. So once again, this is an address. This is talk. This ain't happened yet. This is what he's talking about doing. So how excited should people be about someone talking about something? Not that excited, Johnson. People talk about stuff all the time. Hell, I'm talking about stuff. Is that going to put money in your pocket? Is that going to change your life? Just talking about it? No. But just this tenor is probably better than what we would get before. We're going to get that out of Trump saying that. But it's just talk. Let's go to the next clip. Now, this next clip, Bernie gets up, walks up on stage and takes the mic. Check this out.
Know how outrageously expensive drugs are in America. In fact, we pay the highest prescription drug prices of anywhere in the world, right here in America. Nearly 3 times for the same drug, nearly 3 times what other countries pay. We have to change that, and we can.
Hold on, man. I swear to God, Bernie just, you see Bernie? Look at Bernie. Bernie's like, who the hell? Bernie's like, this guy is doing my whole act. He stole my lines. This guy is stealing my line. It's either that or he's thinking, hey, that's what I told you to say. Good, you're doing good. Doing good, Joey. That's exactly what I told you to say.
America. In fact, we pay the highest prescription drug prices of anywhere in the world, right here in America. We pay the highest prescription drug price.
Look at Kamala, the fake pretender who said she supported Medicare for all until she had to actually run on it. Then she backpedaled and then went with the guy who was against the thing she was running on when she raised all that money for her campaign, guys. Yeah. I remember this. Tim Black has a memory.
Of anywhere in the world, right here in America. Nearly 3 times for the same drug, nearly 3 times what other countries pay. We have to change that, and we can. Let's do what we talked about for all the years I was down here in this body.
Oh, you mean cut Social Security and lock up the blacks? That must be what you want to, what you mean when you say what we talked about when you were in this body. That's what you talked about. Come on, guys. Look, man. Hey. Joe is full of it, okay? That's what he is. Look, so I'm struggling with this because I want to give people hope. Yeah, I don't want to just make content that feeds on your fears and your anxieties. That's Fox News-ish. And I notice a lot of people do that. They know that's where they know that's what's going to get you, man. Play to people's anxieties and their pains, their frustrations and their anger. That's easy money, man. That's exactly what Fox does. Exactly. So I don't want to do that. But what I'm also not going to do is pretend this guy is sincere or that I believe he's sincere. I'm not going to pretend that. You don't, for the same reasons why I believe that Bernie, who's been saying the same thing, his rhetoric's been the same for 40 years. I believe he wasn't playing a role for 40 years. There's some people that want you to believe he played a role for 40 years. I don't believe that. But I also don't believe that Joe Biden, with a track record of 35 years himself, did all of his lock him up and throw away the key shit, all of his support the corporations, all of the corporation whoring that he did, I don't believe that was a mistake either. Like, people, they showed us who they were by what they did over time, for years, decades. So I'm going to be very consistent. If you did things and if you wrote legislation to help people, and if you had your politics in the right place, then that has to be who you are. But if it wasn't in the right place, you can't now, at the 11th hour, show up using other people's talking points, and we're supposed to take that hook, line, and sinker. We can't do that, man. We're not that stupid. We can't be naive, man. Let's keep it 100. 100. Share this on your social media, man, because I like a lot of people were being very complimentary, very supportive, kissing Joe Biden's ass. I will not kiss his ass. I'm going to hold his ass accountable. This little independent media personality, whatever you call it, is going to hold Joe Biden accountable. Let's hear the rest of the Medicare. Let's hear the rest of the healthcare talk, because he's not talking about actually doing. He is talking about Medicare. If you have Medicare, he's going to allow Medicare to negotiate better prices. But those prices, how much would that impact people who don't have Medicare? I don't know. Let's hear the rest of this. Forgive me.
Know how outrageously expensive drugs are in America. Power to save hundreds of billions of dollars by negotiating lower drug prescription prices. By the way, it won't just help people on Medicare. Lower prescription drug costs for everyone. And the money we save, which is billions of dollars, can go to strengthen the Affordable Care Act and expand Medicare coverage benefits without costing taxpayers an additional penny. It's within our power to do it. Let's do it now.
Jesus, Johnson, Jesus. Okay. Woo! This guy, man. Look, this is talk. Let's get it done. Why is it so hard to push for Medicare for all? We know why. Because it took all that money from the pharmaceutical companies all my life. All my life I've taken money, all types of money. That's why. Because the lobbyist money is so good in all these industries, they benefit so much that they can't disentangle themselves from that process. That's what's going on, Johnson. It's so obvious we need a single-payer system. If the if the pandemic didn't show that. It's not just the mountain of medical bills and medical bankruptcies that we face every year. Was it 50,000 medical bankruptcies every year? I don't even want to guess. It's a very high number, Johnson. That means people losing everything because of an illness. Everything they ever worked for, gone. For some reason, some people, but most people, you know what? I'm not even going to use that line. I'm not going to say that conservatives don't want health care. They do want health care. They do. This is a very popular plan to have everyone covered. Like almost every other westernized nation on the globe. That's why you don't hear them talk about it a lot in media. Because the people want it. It's the politicians that don't want it, and they're paid not to want it. So let's keep it moving, Johnson. Let's keep it moving. More Biden address here. Gosh. What else does he say? I forget the next clip.
Know how outrageously expensive drugs are.
Okay, here it goes. This is what I said, just for the record, guys. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Sure, Biden said a lot of things last night. Some of the things he said seemed Bernie-esque. But let's see if he fights for anything he spoke. Well done is better than well said. That's right. Though I do believe that tweet was pretty well said. So, one of the things about Biden, and I'll just go to this now because people have been critical of Biden, just like I've been critical of Biden, but they've been critical about this claim that he's making that his new plan, once implemented, because it hasn't started yet, this thing called a child tax credit. That this child tax credit will lift half of American children out of poverty. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you saw that I was tweeting about, you may have seen that I was tweeting about this. I care about this. I care about the children. Some people don't have children, so this doesn't affect them, and they're like, screw it. Real talk. Some of the people that were like commenting on my threads about it, they don't, I got to question that. I don't have children in college, but I want your debt removed. Why don't get the same level of empathy from people who are childless? Sounds grossly selfish. Just saying. But so many people were dismissive of this claim, and I'm like, okay, he keeps saying it. Is this another, I'm giving you $2,000, and it's really only $1,400 moment? It's a blatant lie, a bait and switch. Or are people just being overreactive because they can't stand Biden so much, or they don't trust Biden so much that they're like overcorrecting? So I started digging back and forth and started digging into the child tax credit and what it really means. So in a nutshell, and what I am going to do is I am going to bring on an expert, hopefully, to discuss this more. Because this is going to go down. It's already been approved. It's already passed. What Joe Biden talked about last night was extending it. It's going to run for 1 year, but Joe Biden was talking about expanding the child tax credit, breaking it into monthly payments, and extending it to 2025. That's supposed to be in his jobs and families plan, which is what he introduced or unveiled last night. So let me briefly explain how he and his administration have proposed that we're going to get to half of children being removed or moved above the poverty line, which is children's families. Okay? So if you have a child, it's $3,000, $3,600. $3,600 if you have a child from 0 to 5, and 6 to 17 is $3,000. That's it. 3,600, 0 to 5, 6 to 17, $3,000. And that's going to be broken up into monthly payments. So it's really not that big of a stretch, because if you get the earned income tax credit, you usually get it at the end of the year, and people file it on their taxes. Okay? But this is just going to give it to people during the year in increments. What I realized is I was trying to have this conversation, asking questions, doing my research, talking to people on Twitter. I realized a lot of people don't understand the poverty line. They don't realize that there's some people who are right at the poverty line but beneath it. And there's some people that are way below the poverty line. So we need to educate ourselves on that a little bit. Here goes the grid that's going to explain it a little bit better. This is the poverty line, okay? It differs from state to state. It costs more to live in Alaska and Hawaii, so it's a different scale. If you have one child, you make $12,880, you live beneath the poverty line. If you have two children, it's $17,420. Now, you also have to equate this to dollars per hour. Remember, not everyone makes $15 an hour. You have to make at least $15 an hour with a family of two, working 40 hours a week, not a part-time gig, 40 hours a week, to make above the poverty line. It comes out to 17-something. $15 an hour, 40-hour week. 2 kids. If you have 3 kids, it costs more to live, right? If you got more kids. $21,000. Now you got to make almost $20 an hour. 4 kids, now you got to make almost $25 an hour. Now, it could be 2 people working in the household, they could make more. But we're talking about people who don't make more than this poverty line. So that's the first thing. A lot of people, I don't think, understand the poverty line. Okay, so it moves. The poverty line moves. And now you do the math, man. If there's a family of 3 and all the children are under 5, that is how much a month? What's that, $300 a month times 3? That's $900 a month. With almost $1,000 per month for a family of 4, if it's a mom, or somebody could be disabled, I don't know, doesn't have a job or whatever. Okay, but there's one person working, they make less than the poverty line, now they get $1,000. How many people would you think would lift out of poverty? How many people would lift out of poverty if they got an extra $1,000 a month? A significant amount of people could be lifted out of poverty. So people say this is not anything, like there's nothing good about this. There's something good about it. It may not help you. It definitely won't help a homeless veteran living alone. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying, yay, enough. I'm saying for those people that it helps them. To say that this one program could be beneficial to a lot of children. Remember, this is not about adults. It's about child poverty. We should want children to not live below the poverty line if we can help it. I'm trying to understand why it's okay to shit on a policy that can help kids just because you don't like Joe Biden. Man, if black people went around, let's keep it 100, man. Okay? There are a lot of white people that believe in their presidents, who have believed in their presidents. A lot of them. Okay? I've never believed in a single president since in my life. I've never believed it, never. Okay? But if we went around as black people, let that be the only way that we judged what was going to be good or what could help us, we never have shit. Because we ain't never trusted them. This ain't about trusting Biden. This ain't about liking Biden. I already said he locked up more black people than slavery. Him and Kamala. But if we get something good out of them, then we're going to take that shit and help some kids. You don't have to like somebody. Shit, I worked jobs I couldn't stand who I worked for, but I had to feed my family. We weren't going to go to cookouts together and hang out, but I'm going to take that damn money and take it home and take care of Mrs. Black and the black kids. The blacks. I just have a problem with it, the rhetoric that I'm hearing, because it smacks of fucking privilege. We got people, commentators, who make they make millions of dollars a year. There are people on this platform making millions of dollars a year who don't understand that this could lift some poor people out of poverty. How can we attract, and once again, one of my main goals, guys, is to make the Democratic Party have to give black people something for their vote. If they give black people something for their vote, that helps the whole country. How can we get more black people into voting for a Bernie Sanders type of candidate? I prefer Nina Turner personally. That's just me. Think she's got the right stuff and the right savvy. We'll talk about her more later. How can we get them to trust in voting to somebody like that if when we have issues that impact mostly black people? Because look at this grid, guys. This is the reason why. This is the reason why it pissed me off. This right here. You see this? This policy, this child allowance will slash child poverty across racial groups. Who benefits mostly from this? Blacks and Latinos. Native Americans. Asians and whites. And and remember this, the reason why it helps those marginalized groups more is because white people are doing so much better. Yeah, you can't lift people out of poverty who aren't in poverty. If there were so many poor white people, then they would be lifted out of poverty more. People like Tim Scott think that those people that live under poverty got more black people and Latino people living under the poverty line. He thinks that's just the way things happen. He doesn't think that's race, because once again, we're going to get to it later, Tim Scott doesn't think racism exists in America. It's not a racist country. Where racism exists except in a country that's racist. How can you have racism? It's like you can't get wet without water. Like, how can you can't have water without wetness? Like this, we're not talking about the WAP. We're talking about, you get my point. So what I'm saying, guys, is when you shit on a program that can lift predominantly black and Latino kids, let's just say black kids, out of poverty, and Native Americans, we don't even talk about their situation that often. Shout out to indigenous folks. When you shit on that out of hand, you making millions of dollars with your fancy digs and shit, no problem, fine, cool, you're amazing. But this sounds a little fucked up, man. Don't it? Make my job hard, man, getting black folks to support candidates that are actually going to be good for them, man, when you shit on programs that help their cousins, their sisters, and their brothers, maybe even themselves. Now, look at now this is that was my gut reaction, because I did the math, because I know some people have more than one child. I realize that some people have 2, 3, 4 children. I realize that. And the numbers go up, and it helps more people. I looked at a statement from the Brookings Institute that did an examination, which is a conservative research organization here in Washington, D.C. President Biden just signed into law a bill that fundamentally restructures the tax credit for 1 year as part of a larger relief package. The policy expands the child tax credit, delivers it periodically rather than as a lump at tax time, effectively instituting a child allowance administered through the tax code. Under the plan, low and middle income families with children will receive a yearly total of $3,000 per child, aged 6 to 17, and $3,600 per child under 6, just as what I stated. Look at the supplemental poverty measures. This single revision is projected to reduce child poverty from 14% to 7.5%, a 45% reduction, according to researchers at Columbia University Center of Poverty and Social Policy. The payments are projected to drastically cut child poverty across racial groups, with particular large reductions for Black, Hispanic, and Native American children. Similar reductions are expected for the number of children living in deep poverty. Okay. Does this mean that Joe Biden is great? No. It doesn't mean Joe Biden is great. This is money you would already get if you file your taxes, if you get a tax break or tax. If you file taxes at the end of the year, this is money that you would already get. This is just giving it to you early so you live better. Just in case you get hit by Derek Chauvin at the end of the year. That's horrible. That's horrible. But it's real talk, man. It's real talk. So, I like this plan. I don't like Joe Biden. There it is. I wish it was more money. There it is. It's not more money. It's what it is. I'd rather have this than nothing, though. Just to spite Joe Biden. I don't even want it. That's right. Let those kids eat dirt. I don't care. I don't like Joe Biden, so F it. And I'm going to make content calling the plan garbage because I don't like Joe Biden. I wouldn't want my viewers to actually have to think. I just want them to be angry and yell and be pissed off because that's better for my bottom line. When are people going to see through this? You don't see through? I'm wasting my time. I should just go along with the flow. I should just lie to you. Yeah, fuck Joe. Fuck Joe. Joe's an asshole. We don't trust him. We don't like him. Yeah, fuck him. Screw him. That's better, right? That's your road to success on this platform. No, I didn't get into this business a lot of people, whether it's good or bad news. Jesus Christ, man. There are worse things than Joe Biden. Joe Biden is horrible, but there's something worse than Joe Biden. It's somebody, I don't know. I won't even say worse than Joe Biden. They're both worse. Like, there's no, like, what, you want to get beat with a baseball bat or beat with a long stick? A long, thick stick. Same thing. Kind of the same thing. Republicans had a game plan. Their plan was to present a speaker after Joe Biden that was just as horrible as Joe Biden. Full of just as much hot air and nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Tim Scott. Now, Tim Scott started off telling you his backstory. I didn't care about Tim Scott's backstory. I know enough about Tim Scott. I know about his opportunity zones. A lot of people, opportunity zones, yes. Opportunity zones help corporations, not workers. Doofus. You can open up a business, don't have any employees. Just open the business up in an opportunity zone, get a tax break, place to park your money, make more money, get a tax break. Sort of like what Tim Scott did with his opportunity zone business. There was nothing in the opportunity zone legislation that forced those businesses that took advantage of opportunity zones that had to hire local people. So the idea was, we're going to put business and give business incentives to put businesses in local communities. Yeah, but not every business is a pizza shop. Not every business is a local business, a brick and mortar that does business that has to hire people because you can't have people virtually work. But what are people doing during the pandemic? Virtually working. Where were those people employed from? Where were those people from? All over the world, maybe even out of the country. Who knows? So opportunity zones were a lot more beneficial for corporations than workers. I just want to say that clearly because there are people who pulled that out of their ass, have done no research on opportunity zones whatsoever. Also, the people that defended Tim Scott, before we even get to what he said, about his, what was it? Shit he's talking. It's his legislation to reform police department. His big whopper, his big, piece of legislation was about making people wear body cams. But you know what? He had no enforcement mechanism attached to what would happen if you didn't wear the body cam. Because he didn't want to piss off cops. It was more like a suggestion. If there's no punitive punishment for not wearing a body cam, what the hell is the legislation about? Now, of course, the Democrats didn't want Tim Scott to pull one over on them or get a victory lap on their watch. But let's not act like Tim Scott's pandering to the law enforcement structure self was actually putting together legislation that ended qualified immunity. It didn't. That actually was going to prosecute cops for civil rights violations. It didn't. Or have any type of punitive qualities to it for cops that did not wear those body cameras. It did not. So stop just pulling stuff out your ass. Just because you said police reform on the title doesn't mean the legislation had any teeth to actually reform the police. Why the hell did you think Tim Scott came up with it? He's a cop guy. He's a right-wing guy whose base consists of law enforcement. Think. Now that that's out the way, now that I got your attention, let's go to Tim Scott. Let's listen to his marvelous, hey, this guy started talking about his backstory. Then he got to this, which I find funny because Tim Scott, very lately, Tim Scott has been saying one thing and one thing over and over again, that racism does not exist. But then he tells you this other story about his own life of being racially profiled. How does racism not exist in America if you then start your conversation with, hey, I know what it's like to be racially profiled? Where do people get racially profiled, dumbass? In countries where there's racism. In communities that have racism. How else could you be racially profiled? I just want to know. Yeah, I went to a place that wasn't raining, but I got rained on. Must be a place where it rains, dumbass, because that's where the rain comes from. The sky. Anyway, here we go.
The Supreme Court. This is not common ground. Nowhere do we need common ground more desperately than in our discussions of race. I have experienced the pain of discrimination. I know what it feels like to be pulled over for no reason, to be followed around the store while I'm shopping.
See, what I don't like, he doesn't use the word racism, he calls it discrimination. You know, I can discriminate against spinach. When you discriminate based on color, that's racism. If you're of a power group, like if you're the police, or if you're hiring people, or if you're enrolling students and you discriminate based on race, that's called racism, Tim. I know you don't want to use the word with the hard R. That's what it is, though. So this guy wants to first let the blacks know, for the record, I know what it's like being black. I am black, and I've been discriminated against because I'm black. And then he goes on to also go further with this, that his suffering, his pain and suffering.
The Supreme Court. This is not common ground. I've also experienced a different kind of intolerance. I get called Uncle Tom and the N-word by progressives, by liberals. Just last week, a national newspaper suggested my family's poverty was actually privilege. Because a relative owned land generations before my time. Believe me, I know firsthand our healing is not finished. In 2015, after the shooting of Walter Scott, I wrote a bill to fund body cameras. Last year, after the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, I built an even bigger police reform proposal. But my Democratic colleagues blocked it. I extended an olive branch. I offered amendments, but Democrats used a filibuster to block the debate from even happening. My friends across the aisle seem to want the issue more than they wanted a solution. But I'm still working. I'm hopeful that this will be different. When America comes together, we've made tremendous progress, but powerful forces want to pull us apart. 100 years ago, kids in classrooms were taught the color of their skin was their most important characteristic. And if they looked a certain way, they were inferior. Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal.
Tim Scott believes that the healing is not finished. No, you can't heal something if the wound is still being penetrated. Let me explain. The structural racism is still taking place in America. If the structural racism, with the way police, with the way real estate is meted out, the way interest rates are arrived to, the way courts of prosecutors prosecute black poor people. Like if all these things exist, if the poor neighborhoods, predominantly black neighborhoods have the worst water, the worst air, the worst of all things, then that's racism still embedded in the system. How are you supposed to heal if the thing that's hurting you is continuing? Tim Scott's talking as if we live in a utopia where everything's over and everyone's good now. But he said people called him Negro. N-word. Who calls people N-word? It calls you a nigger. A lost nigger. Now, I can't speak for white progressives who would use that. They shouldn't. You don't get a white pass from me, or a black pass from me as a white person to be able to do that. So I guess he's probably making it up anyway. This horrible speaker with his horrible lines of BS. They call me a Tom. Yeah? I wonder why. I refer to you more of as sort of a Stephen from Django, actually, but Tom will work. In fact, I got a big beef with this guy. The fact that every time I look at my name in Google, his picture comes up. Because he's black. Why is that, Tim Scott? Yeah, look up Tim Black, anybody, in Google. You'll see Tim Scott come up. Because he's black. But you'll say, we need to stop focusing on race. Even Google focuses on race with you, dumbass. Even the algorithm does. Yeah, even the algorithm's racist. Your name's Tim Scott, and you come up for results for Tim Black because you're black. Tim is black, or Tim Scott's black, or whatever. So that comes up. It's amazing the only black senator from the GOP says there's no racism. And we need to heal, and it's all our fault for talking about race is what makes race. And I hate Morgan Freeman started that shit. Tulsi Gabbard's continuing it. Her supporters enable it. Tucker Carlson fucking facts of life, bullshit analogies or outlooks on race. Reeks of Joe Rogan bullshit. If we just stop talking about COVID, it'll go away, right? Only if we would stop talking about it. Powerful forces are using color against us. Once upon a time, color was the most important characteristic. I don't know where you live at. This guy's from the South, guys. The South is still very fucking racist. So is the North, the East, and the West. But Lord, God, come on, God. There are white people in the South, you know damn well Tim Scott's full of shit. Stop lying. Stop lying because you want to be with a certain team. There are racist Democrats and racist Republicans. You really want to, are you really, come on now. You may not like me. You may not like progressive politics. But are you with a straight face, Johnson, going to pretend if you live in the South, you don't know that there's racism in the South? He lives in the South. He's a senator from Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina. Which one? South Carolina. And you really want to float that bullshit that it's all about healing now, that there's no racism in the South? Come on, man. Come on. I mean, I know you're a liar, but you can't be a goddamn liar. Don't be a goddamn liar. That's like lying to the highest degree. You know better than that. What else tonight? Do I got anything else on Tim Scott? Guy's horrible, man. It's a horrible liar. Meanwhile, we're trying to get reparations. Yes, reparations. We're trying to close the racial wealth gap. We're fighting to get policies that actually impact black lives. And then we got this guy undermining what we do just to make sure he's good. Just to secure his position in a racist-ass state, in a racist-ass party. And then people going, why are some people upset with Tim Scott? Why are you upset with him? Because he's lying, just like Candace Bigsby, daughter of Clayton Bigsby from Dave Chappelle's skit. One good thing came out of all of this. I was able to make this meme. We've reinstituted the racial draft, guys. The black delegation give the white delegation Senator Tim Scott. We don't need anyone in return. Just take it. Whew. Guy's horrible, Johnson. Horrible, 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 horrible. And like, yeah, he talked about other things, but that was the main focus I wanted to talk about. He talked about COVID-19, reopening schools. Guys, this guy's a moron, okay? But that's beside the point. He's also dead wrong on like half the shit he talked about, even more than half of what he talked about. I don't know about you, but I didn't want my child going in harm's way. I didn't want my child going in harm's way, possibly contracting COVID-19 and bringing it home and killing us. I don't know, just something crazy about me and Mrs. Black kind of wanting to be here to be able to raise him. But dumbass Tim Scott starts off with his backstory, then went right to slamming the COVID-19 plans, which were under Trump, and he didn't say shit then. You know, schools were closed under Trump, and you didn't say shit, Tim. Now, you're saying something. They're all full of it, man. Full of it. Yeah. We need to just try to be better as I beg white people to like me. Please like me more. I'm as meek as I can be. You'll find no bass in my voice, no urgency in my words. I'm just a man begging to be accepted. Cornball. The first 100 days of Biden's administration has led some people to make judgments about how well he's been doing. We talked earlier in the week about AOC's comments about Joe Biden. Well, she was complimentary of Joe. She said Joe Biden exceeded expectations. Do tell. I guess, well, for anybody who missed that clip, because you may not have watched my previous video on the matter, because YouTube has a way of making sure that no one sees my shit, basically. Just my parents and a few other small groups of people. So here goes a clip of AOC's comments that have been mobilized or radicalized to use against progressives and to give Biden support. Thanks, AOC.
What she calls a good partner in the White House. Ocasio-Cortez says that progressives have found what she calls a good partner in the White House.
One thing that I will say is that I do think that The Biden administration and President Biden has definitely exceeded expectations that progressives had. I'll be frank, I think a lot of us expected a much more conservative administration.
Actually, I'm not sure. This isn't damning with faint praise. That's actually a really interesting statement coming from one of the leaders of the progressive wing.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of good. It's kind of good what she said. She said it was kind of nicer. I'm surprised she said something about Biden. Look, I think that part of the strategy that they're using here is that progressives want, I don't know, I think AOC and some of the others might want to be a part of the conversation with Joe Biden. Like maybe he'll have conversations with them. Maybe they'll be able to influence things. Maybe I don't know. I was very critical of this. I'm trying to have an open mind. Maybe there's a strategy at play. Maybe if you thought your wife was gonna, I don't know, burn all the food, or I don't know, was gonna kick you out of the house for a month and should have kicked you out for a week, you'd be like, hey, she exceeded my expectations. Or if you thought your husband was gonna spend more time with the kids and he spent some time with the kids, but you kind of thought he would spend no time with the kids, or if you said he was going to spend more time with the kids, then he spent a little bit of time with the kids, and you'd be like, wow, he exceeded my expectations. I'm using horrible analogies, right? Maybe a little sexist in there too. But that's what comedy does. I don't know how to make it not. If you thought the dog was going to shit all over the house, and then you just finally pick one little spot in the corner, not too bad, Johnson. So I guess I get that part. Right? So I had to reframe it like, okay, there we go. That's the analogy to go with. Progressives like AOC may have thought that Joe Biden was going to shit all over progressives. And instead, he shot in the Medicare for All corner, the UBI corner, the drop bombs in Syria corner, the military, there's a lot of corners. There's a lot of, it's not all over the house, but it's a lot of places in the house, Johnson. You got to cut the lights on if you need to go to the bathroom at night. Not to be outdone, the Progressive Caucus leader, the real person people should be calling out, Pramila Jayapal, had words to say about Joe Biden that were even worse, in my opinion. Or if you think it's all strategy, that were more strategic than AOC's. Check it out. Damn it, I can't get to this. I can't get to this.
What she calls a good partner in the White House.
Oops, sorry.
I do. I think that this has been a really interesting time for us to see how the progressive movement at large, all the progressive voters, young voters, voters of color that came out and turned out for the president in November, helping us to win the White House, the Senate, and the House, and the pandemic and the way in which it has just really shined such a bright light on all the inequalities that have existed. I think President Biden has risen to the moment, and I really do give him an A in what he's done so far. It's been bold, it's been progressive, it's been what the country needs. He hasn't shied away from it, he has leaned into it, and we're hoping that the same continues to happen as we go through the process.
Shit. An A. An A. An A, Johnson. An A. A. An A, Johnson. An A. Not a D. Not a C. Not a B. An A. Tim, you don't know how to do the politics. This is how you politic, man. You gotta use carrots and sticks. Or carrots and sticks and honey. Yeah, you gotta have honey to catch the bees. You can't catch the bee with salt and vinegar, man. Salt and vinegar's good on potato chips, man, but don't eat potato chips, Tim. Diabetes is waiting on you, brother. Stop with the chips. I stopped. Don't eat chips. But you gotta use honey. Honey to catch the bees. Biden ain't nothing but a big ass bee. You need to catch them with the honey. What if all this lavishing of love on Biden makes Biden go, oh, I'm doing great, huh? Good, I quit. I'm stopping right there, that's it. We're done then. Since I'm doing so great, I don't got to do shit else. Thank you, Johnson. What if that's what happens? Man, I'm trying to get into different schools of thought. I'm trying to understand the strategy behind this. I don't want to say, I know it's really convenient. And years ago, I would just say, sell out. Sell out. I had a show called No Sellouts. I would just call out sellouts. Sell out. Sell out. Sell out. Sell out. Sell out. Sell out. Then the guy who did the show went Trump on me, and I said, damn, sell out. God, stop calling people sellouts. You never know who's a sellout. You say, man, the money's good. The money's good, dummy. The money's good. They sold you out. The Progressive Movement sold you out, Tim. He was right. Here's the thing, though, guys. He was wrong, but he was right, but he was wrong. Why'd I bring that up? Here's the thing. Do they have a strategy? Do they have a strategy? Does anyone think that Pramila Jayapal does not want health care for us? Seriously. Like, I know we're mad. We're mad. We want them to say. We're upset. We're pissed off, right? Because we want people to speak truth to power. But didn't she write the Medicare for All bill in the House? Yes, Tim, she did. So are you saying she wrote it for shits and giggles? Do you think she actually really wants to get it done? Would it be fair to say she doesn't because of this? I know, man, once again, it's going to get difficult, bruh. And fam, sisters to sisters, my vocal, very vocal sisters. Is it possible both things can be true? Because she actually want health care for us? Really want Biden to do more? Because she also possibly think he's done some things so far that were good enough? And could she also be trying to play him in a way that's strategic to get more out of him, to say, oh, you already been so progressive. Why would you change now, Joe? Keep going. And could she also be looking out for, I don't know, something else too? I don't know. Like, could a lot of things be going on at one time? I think there could be a lot of things going on at one time. I really don't know. But I know I don't like it. This I know. Because I'm not privy to what's going on or what the strategy is. I just know how it manifests. And how it's manifesting, you're lying like shit. Joe Biden is not an A. I mean, the shit at the border is horrible. There ain't no police reform. He caved on the money. He lied about the $2,000, gave us $1,400. That was a blatant lie. How can you reward a guy who bombed Syria illegally, screwed up at the border, continued Trump's policies at the border that you hated, everyone hated so much? Illegal bombs, does not support Medicare for All, which you wrote legislation on. Well, Tim, we knew he wasn't going to do that. Okay. But how can you do those things and be in all those corners, defecating in all the corners, and you just be like, looks like an egg? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why people say, Tim, you should run for office. Really, Johnson? I would never get elected. I'm going to say stuff. I'm going to say what I feel. That's not good. Do you think everybody's saying these things because they really feel it totally 100%? You don't think there's any strategy in this? Now, I've also come to the conclusion that some people are just not that good. Some people are better than others at how they politic. Okay? We're not talking about their heart, because I'm not going to say Pramila Jayapal doesn't want Medicare for all. I'm not going to say that. I think I don't want to go that far, okay? But I think some people have different ways of politicking. Take, for instance, the way Nina Turner addressed the same issue.
I do. I think
you have championed progressive causes like Medicare for all, the Green New Deal. Given that President Biden does not support these policy goals, when you hear AOC say that, is she speaking for you when she says that Biden's exceeded expectations with progressives?
The administration is moving in the right direction, and that is important to recognize. And what the beautiful thing is about this is that the progressive movement has created very fertile soil. And the administration is coming to understand that progressive policies are not only popular, they are absolutely necessary. And so when you're moving in the right direction, we got to keep going. And that's why we have to have the courage to ask for more. I have the courage to ask for more. The progressive movement has the courage to ask for more. So we can both recognize that one is moving in the right direction and also continue to push. We absolutely have to have Medicare for all. There are more people in this country right now who are uninsured and underinsured than ever before because of the pandemic. People were suffering, as we know. There are a million people, for example, in the state of Ohio who lost their employer-sponsored health care. So yes, we gotta have Medicare for all. I think we're at about 100 million people right now. The Green New Deal is so important. My district has some of the poorest communities in it. Having a Green New Deal and putting people back to work and helping Mother Earth is a beautiful thing to do. And so this is really good. The progressive movement has got to continue to shake things up and keep pushing. And I wanna be there to keep the movement going in that Congress.
Well done. Well done. She said, we must continue to push. We must have Medicare for all. She said that twice. She said, Biden's done so great, we don't need to do anything else. Biden's amazing. Oh, Lord, we need to name a street out to Joe Biden. Let's do it right now. He gets an A++. No, she said, we need the Green New Deal. We need jobs, Green New Deal. We need to continue to push. We need to keep pushing, and I want to help push him. She said she has the courage to push him. Now, either she's been lying for 5 years about that, or that's who she is and that's what she believes. I believe that's who she is and that's what she believes. Now, what they're trying to do is, if you notice, they're trying to turn progressives against progressives. We should not help them do that. I saw some people, I posted this on Instagram, Nina came through and she made a comment on the post, which I thought was really cool. There were some people mad because she didn't go after AOC. Why would she go after AOC? Why would she take the bait and start criticizing AOC's opinion of Joe Biden? Or Pramila Jayapal for that matter. Or Cori Bush, who I covered earlier in the week. Why would you want her to criticize AOC? So you could feel good? Do you know that AOC endorsed her? I'm just saying, AOC endorsed her. But you think she should throw AOC under the bus for an opinion about Joe Biden because she may have a different opinion. You think she should do that. This is the level, man. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to do that. I'm not a politician, Johnson, but why should she do that? You don't even want me to criticize other commentators. And we're not even fighting to, get legislation done or anything. You call me divisive for saying somebody is lying or exaggerating or whatever. Tim's always saying something negative. You hate when I do it, but you want someone running for Congress in a state that needs it. Oh, God. She just said all these people that are out of work, they could really use good representation. You want her to risk that and also, for no reason at all, further divide what little bit of leftists we have in Congress. Just so you can get a moment, a soundbite that they'll play over and over and over against AOC. I just don't, I'm not saying everything we should do should be strategic, but where's the strategy in that? And why are you criticizing her for not criticizing another politician? That's not what we want them to do. We want them to help get legislation done. Some people I get, they want these people I don't know who came up with the word squad. I was told it was made up by the right wing in order to, because I remember it was negative. There are all these women of color, and they say, it's negative. It wasn't a positive. The squad was like the gang, the crew, the gang of colored black people or whatever. But we want those people to all band together and fight and, make Biden do things. But on the same token, you want them not work together, but to start fighting each other, because that helps us how? I'm just trying to figure it out. So I think that Nina Turner did a hell of a job articulating and not taking that bait, not doing that. But see, she knows what she's doing. She's not just going to give them something to hurt others. For what? I don't get it. To hurt enough. So I'm glad she didn't do that. I'm glad she spoke her truth, spoke some truth to power, said Joe Biden's going in the right direction. Man, is he going more right? Has he been more of a right-wing guy than we expected? Like I said, it all depends on, I already told you about my take on Biden. I definitely wouldn't give him an A or B. Not at all. Not at all, Johnson. I mean, he could have got radical and did a UBI. He could have got radical and did a UBI. He didn't do Medicare for all. He didn't do a UBI. I can't give you above a C. Just on that alone, man. Just that alone, man. Come on, man. The strength of the soul of the world, the soul of America, the soul, the guiding light, the shining hill. My arthritis, my knees, my falling up the steps. Come on, fat, the thing. I can't give him above a C just on those things. Keep pushing. Some people say that sounds like capitulation. He should say, go to hell, Biden. Then the other 7 people she's running against will play that over and over to people in Ohio, and then she doesn't get into Congress. Great idea, Johnson. Great. You're amazing. You're amazing. You are perfect. This is you are so, man, you need to give more advice to other candidates that we don't want to win. Yeah. You'd be really good at railroading candidates, giving shitty advice that makes them lose. Perfect. That should be your job. Hang out your consultancy and start doing that. Pramila Jayapal is actually, I do have a little evidence that Pramila Jayapal is trying to work some strategy. I do want to add this because I found this. Now, what I mean by that is this.
You have championed.
This one? Okay. Representative Pramila Jayapal on how she is pushing Biden to be more progressive and creating a tipping point for change. So this is an article, and she was outlining what she's doing. And number one, this is what she said. When a $15 minimum wage increase fell out of the package because of Senate rules, some Democrats considered withholding their votes entirely. Jayapal Jayapal helped persuade those members to support the deal. See, guys? I know it's been very popular to go after AOC. This is what Jayapal said. Let me get back on the screen for a second. Because, see, this is the thing. Remember when I was saying I was really hesitant to go after AOC? Because everybody was doing it. And then I noticed there were a lot of views in it. A lot of people making a lot of money going after AOC. I'm telling you, to the tunes of thousands of dollars were generated going after AOC. There were people whose careers in independent media were launched. They begin to see some sunshine and some oxygen to their independent media endeavors, by bashing AOC. And it continues to this day. The fact of the matter is, Jayapal was leading the charge to get them to go along with signing. She admits it. Now, how many of them, now this article was in major publications. It just came out this week. How many of them have put out videos like I'm putting out, updating it and making it clear about who did what? Everyone said that AOC is the leader of the squad. I don't think she is, Johnson. I think the Progressive Caucus leader is the leader. That's why she's the Progressive Caucus leader. That's Jayapal. Okay? Inconvenient. Not a lot of money out of it because she's not as popular. The views won't crank up. But if you want to call it straight, you'd have to mention this. Well, she didn't have to go along. I know, Johnson. But this is an important element in the narrative, in the factual record of what happened, isn't it? The person who pushed to get it signed, who's proud of pushing to get it signed, saying I'm the one that pushed to get it signed, doesn't that deserve some level of inclusion in your conversation? Let's go to the rest of it because there's more in that article, man. And since it hasn't been shared with you before, probably, let's share it now. Jayapal helped persuade those members to support the deal, and it passed almost entirely along party lines. Progressives have been sort of pushed to the margins so often in politics that I think we may have gotten used to that, Jayapal says. And so people are very inclined to say, oh, this happened again, we didn't get everything we wanted. But she taught her colleagues to realize we should take the win. And it goes on. It's the strategy Jayapal plans to pursue on other policies, while still trying to bring Biden further left behind the scenes. Biden called Jayapal after the relief package passed to thank her for her help. She says, and while she thanked him for his leadership on the law, in return, she also told him she still wants to see the minimum wage increased. I'm not clapping because I agree with her, because I'm not sure I do. In fact, I know I don't agree with her. Should have played hardball. Okay? But what I want people to clap for is the fact that we get some truth out of this. Little bit of peeking behind the curtain to really what's going on. Does this change your opinion about all the things you've been saying for months? No, it would be pretty hard. It'd be pretty hard to change your opinion at this point, especially those with cognitive dissonance who have embedded themselves so far, they walked so far down this road, to turn back, it would take a lot of humility. Oh, it would take a lot of humility to turn back and say, maybe I went a little too hard on that. Maybe I misjudged a little bit. Maybe there was more, I should have spread it around just a little bit. Defending your course of action. Fine. The point is, it's easy to call everybody our enemy at this point. We have a lot of reasons to be frustrated and downright pissed off. I know I'm frustrated and pissed off about it. There's blame to go around. What do we say? What do we do? I believe we need strong leadership. It's going to fight the fight and get some concessions. Folks, unfortunately, Joe Biden is president. People can't wait until Joe Biden's out of the presidency before we get some things we need to help people. Progressive policies aren't just good because they're progressive. They're good because they're great policies. They're policies that will help people, and people need the help. And most of Americans want those policies. It's not about partisanship or party love or party affiliation. This is policy over party. That's why it's a good idea. It's a good idea because we can't have our health care tied to our employment. What happens when you're no longer employed? Employer-based health care is horrible. The prices for prescription drugs are horrible. Horrible. Even Biden's now admitting, we pay more than any other nation for prescription drugs. So do something about it. We're going to have to push Biden. We have to hold Biden accountable and hold Congress people accountable as well. We also need to hold ourselves accountable to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You can have your own spin on it, have your own take on it. I got my own take on it, but at least put the facts out there. Put the facts out there. Pramila Jayapal fought to get everyone to go along with Biden. That doesn't let anybody off the hook totally, but it gives context. What good is watching a political show if you don't want context? We got to get something out of Biden. People can't wait. That's all I got, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, as in coming to your computers. Tomorrow we do Freedom Friday. You get to call in and speak truth to power. I'm not capable for anyone. I believe everybody has to stand on their own merits. But I'm also not going to just repeat stuff because other people say it, and that's a lucrative way to go. And that's what people want to hear because it feeds their anger. You can still be angry at the right people, and spread the anger to those people that deserve it. That's all. Tomorrow, call up, voice your opinion on all this, or none of this, or something else you heard. I want to talk about Mario Gonzalez. I was going to talk about him tonight, but frankly, guys, they killed this young man. The cops killed Mario Gonzalez the same way they killed Anthony Thompson. Mr. Brown Jr. Andrew Brown? So, Andrew Brown. That's it. They killed Mario Gonzalez slowly, the same way they killed George Floyd. A day before the verdict. For being in the park. That's it. People saw him in the park and said he didn't look like he was doing well. And then he's dead 10 minutes later, or 15 minutes later, whatever it was. He had a medical emergency, you know. All right, guys. I'm Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Tim Black at Night on Instagram. Follow me there. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. I'm not going to guarantee that you're going to believe or that you're going to agree with everything I say, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to bullshit you, and I'm going to call people out when I see it, when I see the realness, when I see what needs to be said, or when I think it's the right thing to do. I'm going to hold people accountable, man. Not going to bash them. I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to have some fun at their expense sometimes, too, because I'm a fun guy. I'm not just, I'm not just a straight line. I'm not Brian Gumbel or Anderson Cooper or Van Jones. Thank God. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to speak truth to power here. Sell out and we get the hell out. All right, guys, let's go to the comment section on YouTube, man. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, people. Chris Evans says, we out here, Johnson. Appreciate your voice, my man. Thank you. Chris Edmonds. Can we get one new member? That's a lot of talking for no new members tonight. Can I get one new member? One person become a Wolfpack member. What's up, Gara? What's up, Keith? What's up, Nade? What's up, Sally Thompson? What up, people? I see my Wolfpack in the house. Sheldon Hughes. Talk is cheap, Joe. Yes, talk is very cheap, Joe. RJ Ramrod. The poverty line so low that lifting 50% above kids leaves them extremely poor. It's not enough and we need to demand a hell of a lot more. Of course we do. Of course we do. Of course we do. Minimum wage would help do that, Johnson, right? A minimum wage would do that. Taking it out the bill, there's no way I could give Joe Biden an A. He took out minimum wage out the bill. Can I get one member? Need a new member. And Benita, need a new member. Hey, Nikki, what's up? I'm on the spot. Come on, Joe. SK is in the house. SK supports the show. Thank you, SK. SK says, same thing as trying to get Cori Bush to speak for others recently, and she wouldn't. Bring them on and ask them yourself. Oh, thank you, SK. Thank you, SK. Exactly. No one cared about that video. It really pissed me off, man. YouTube's algorithm, I can't stand it, man. People bashing Cori Bush for not going in on AOC. These people are ridiculous, man. What's she supposed to say? Oh, I've been in Washington for 2 weeks and now I want to shame other progressive members for not being like me on everything. That's a great way to get people to work with me. I'm sure I'll get a lot done this way. I should tell you my opinion of others. No. We all know that Cori Bush is representing Missouri and Cori Bush. Talk to Cori Bush about the issues. And then if she says some crazy off-the-wall shit about what she's going to do, go in. And another thing, Abby Phillip is a neoliberal talk piece for the establishment. How dare you go after a true progressive like Cori Bush, man, under the questioning of an Abby Phillip with her pro-Clinton ass. What kind of a backbone do you have? Where's your ethics? No, seriously, guys, these people. I'm not talking about the average person with just views. But if you know the history of Abby Phillip, lap dancing for the establishment, corporate tool, bashing Bernie at every turn. That's what she did. That's what she has a track record of doing. You're going to ride with her against Cori Bush and say Abby's attacking from the left? Really? No, she's a disingenuous tool for the establishment trying to divide and score points against progressives that she hates. Particularly former Bernie surrogates and people endorsed by Bernie Sanders. Where you been? Where you been? How naive are we? Abby Phillip? That's like supporting Candace Owens because she's anti-abortion. She said one thing you thought was decent, like, we need to stop this. Black people need to, some shit. You go, yeah, that's kind of true. I like that part. And then supporting her, forgetting all the other shit she says. That's the same thing you're doing with Abby Phillip. It's horrible. What's wrong with people, man? We got a new member, Mixtape Weezy, up in this joint. Yeah, Mixtape Weezy up in the joint. Thank you for becoming a member of the Wolfpack. You are a member of the Wolfpack. You are Johnson. Welcome to the crew, Johnson. Thank you. SK, if you want a $15 minimum wage, go ask President Manchin and Vice President Sinema. Man, we know, and we start having, as we talk more and more, guys, like, I'm under the impression that they want Sinema and Manchin to do what they're doing. I'm under the impression there may even be conversations with Joe Biden and his people have reached out to Sinema and Manchin to keep it up. That way, Biden can feign to be moving left. And but you just couldn't get it done because, conservative Democrats. Oh, I wanted to help out. I wanted to help you move. Man, I told you I was going to help you move. I knew you was in a tough jam. I was going to help you move your stuff, but my phone died. That's what I think Joe Biden's doing, man. Now, I have no proof of this. I have no proof. I have no evidence. All I have is a nose that smells a rat. Smell a rat, Johnson. I don't think that Joe Manchin and Sinema are acting on their own advice. Anybody agree with me on that? Anybody agree with me on that? Hey, Craig R. You remember yet, Craig R? Joe Higashi, I need you. LC made a decision to join with Mama Bear. Mama Bear. I heard that, man. Yeah, I will not defend that shit. I will not defend it, man. You got to think about optics, Johnson. Jesus Christ. Got to think of, come on now. I agree. Don't, not the person to pile around with. All right, guys. Much love to you, D. Lee. Politricking. There it is. That's what I'm saying. Skylistic, what's going on? Bose Einstein 7. Members of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Alex C., what's up, fam? Shorty, what's up? Violet, the Content Boutique. Dallas Taylor, once again. Vanita, good to see you. Hey, Vanita, glad to see you. Vanita Applebaum, you got to put me on. Facebook blocking everybody. Jim Bird, Facebook. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody on Facebook who are part of the Facebook crew. I wanted to limit the trolls because I realized, man, on Facebook, I got way too many trolls for you guys to have a good environment. It's a much better environment on YouTube. And so I got to limit the trolls on Facebook, guys, because they're just horrible, man. They make the viewing experience a test of strength and will. So I had to do something to try to help out, man. Thank you, Mike, for holding it down over there. Moderating, Mike. I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate you. That's it, guys. I think we're done. I think I got one more just came in. Somebody else just got to the show. I think they did. I want to make sure I give them that I speak their. Keith Weston said, to be honest, I think all of this is a bullshit game, brother. Thank you, brother. I know, man. I know, fam. It's like, Wolfpack, I know you feel me on this, man, that I try. That's why I can't just cover politics by itself, guys, because I just don't feel that it's admirable enough. Like, I don't feel that it's too much bullshit in it. I'm sorry, man. It just is, man. I got to cover other stuff, man. Quick question, guys. I'm now doing the Tim Black tune, right? I got a Tim Black cartoon. I haven't come up with a name for it yet. But it's going to be little clips that are made that are going to use a cartoon character that represents me, like an avatar. And I'm wondering if I should put that on this channel or another channel. Now, I'm going to clearly mark these videos at the end with Tim Toon or something, so you know it's a cartoon that you're going to be watching. And the thumbnail will have cartoon-like pictures on it. My goal is to reach a different audience and also break up the monotony of the same old talking head videos that I put out. Just something a little different. But I won't handle really heavy subjects with a cartoon. I would never talk about the shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. using a cartoon. I would never talk about those types of stories. But there are other types of stories that I cover where they could be talked, they could be presented in a different way. So I'm just wondering, guys, maybe we could do a poll. If you're a member on the Wolfpack on Patreon, maybe I just kind of want to get people's opinion of it. I wasn't gonna open it up for discussion because it kind of depends on how well it's done. But I just think we have to come up with creative ways to reach a larger audience and also lighten the mood a little bit from time to time. Because I cover a lot of morbid stuff. And frankly, doctor said I'm too stressed out, man. And stress will take you out. So I have to incorporate some have to decompress, and also, you get it. Let me know what you think about the idea. We'll be putting the word tune and using a different thumbnail be enough so people won't be thinking, okay, Tim, what's this shit? What's this? Just slip this in here. Or should it just be on another channel? If it's on another channel, it's going to be hard for people to see it. My other channel is even suppressed more than this one. Anyway, guys. Somebody said meditate. That's true, Johnson. I got to learn how. Yelling at the pictures of Joe Biden don't seem to be doing it for me. So I'm going to have to come up with another way. That's it, guys. Much love. Hey, become a member on Patreon if you can, or Facebook or YouTube, whatever you want to do. We're working on the website so that we can become members on the Tim Black website. That's the real way to go. The better way to go. Obi Things and More says yoga. Mixtape Weezy, a little while ago, you had a small section for feel-good stories. You should bring that back. I liked it. Feel-good stories. Yeah, good time. Good stories. Good things. Good stuff. That's what it was called. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know what? Mixtape Weezy? It's hard as hell finding good stories. Man, they say the world runs on Dunkin' Donuts. No, the world runs on blood and death and hate. That's what it runs on, Johnson. At least the media world runs on it. If it bleed, it what? It leads, Johnson. I had to look far and wide. Even a story you think it's going to be good has bullshit in it. It's a good story. You think, it's a good story. Then I read a little further. It's like, but it's a half measure. So those are much harder to find good stories. Feel good stories that aren't someone rescued a cat from the tree. Like really good stories. It's a shame, Johnson. Unprovoked. Leeds ain't just a city in England. Unprovoked violence. Shogun said, yep. You're on the wrong part of the net. Blood money. Alex, politics there is BS. We're going to need direct action. Yeah, we're going to need more than just politics, Johnson. Absolutely going to be more than just politics. Electoral politics, I think that's what you're referring to. Direct action, a lot more going on than just, they say all the change happens from the bottom up. People who know a lot more than me, they've been around a lot longer than me, say change starts from the bottom up, not the top down. The grassroots, not the rooftops. We need more good stuff, says Gara. Thank you, Gara. Dallas Taylor, I heard somebody say the internet is just a solid bar of hate. It's like a bar you go to and all the liquor on the shelves, all the spirits have hate in them. Can I get a cup of inspiration? Fresh out. We got some racism and some death and mayhem, destruction, some intolerance. Got no inspiration and motivation. Don't have any of that. What's on tap? Division. Give me a cup of division to go, please. Well, cup of division on the ice. If it bleeds, it succeeds, Johnson. All you can hate for $1.99. Trudy, we need your Tim, so we're actually supporting ourselves by becoming members. Trudy, and you know what? That's how I want it to be, and that's why I intend. I want to give as much as I can, and I want to expand what we do. So I am shopping to expand the Tim Black TTL Media is what it's called. I want to expand it. I don't want to just be Tim Black up here. There should be more people. Why can't the Tim Black Show or this channel have more presenters, more commentators, more analysis, more analysts? I think we should. We're working towards that. And frankly, I think there should be more women in media, in independent media. So I'm working on that too. Nisi Moby. Chris Robbins. Thank you, Chris Robbins. Welcome to the Wolfpack, Chris. Chrissy Robbins, what's up? Thank you, Chrissy Robbins, for becoming a member. I'm real talk on that, though. That's what I'm looking for. Chrissy Robbins. Sally Thompson. No river can return to its source, yet all rivers must have a beginning. Native American proverb. Chrissy, you just made my day, sister. Thank you. Made my day, sister. We got 3 members today. Nick, welcome to the Tim Black's Wolfpack, Nick. Give it up for Nick. Mixtape, Weezy, and Chrissy. Damn. VIP's in the house, man. So put the word out. I'm looking to expand the Tim Black Show. Put the word out for me, guys. Start opening your eyes. So the algorithm's horrible on YouTube, right? The algorithm makes it very difficult to find new content or new content makers. So if you find people, send me their names, links to their content, something. Because I'm looking to expand. We need to do that. We got to do that. I want to thank everybody, man. Nick, Mixtape, Weezy, and Chrissy, thank you for joining the Wolfpack. I hope to provide you with a lot of news coverage that you can't get anywhere else, in a way, and delivered in a way you can't get anywhere else, because I'm not anywhere else. That's what's up. And I see you tomorrow, guys. Call into Freedom Friday. Look, let's get some new callers on Freedom Friday. Need some new life in the Freedom Friday show. So call into the Freedom Friday show and speak truth to power. You ain't got to be a professional speaker. Man, you just call up and tell me what's on your mind. What issues impact you? What has you thinking or worrying or excited, happy, or angry? Call up and talk about it. That's what the show's about. All right, guys. SK, SK commented, SK says, "Want to feel good, check in with Amanda Gorman. I'll bet on her for good feelings." Amanda Gorman. I'm going to write that down, Johnson. Thank you, SK. That's it. That's all. I got to go make sure Mrs. Black is good. Make sure the kids are tucked in. They should be. This COVID-19 is crazy. Check the locks on the doors. I got nothing but love for you. I'm Tim Black. We're all Johnsons. I'll see you on the next one. Wolfpack. Peace. Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world as if it's a sport. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't focus on black issues. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining. On point. TimBlackTV.com. Join us today.
Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to TimBlackTV.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to TimBlackTV.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.